This is Danielle Yeager, and I'm here with another series. This one is all about goals for the new year, and this is the first video in that series. So today we're going to talk about reflecting on this past year. So it doesn't really matter if you're starting this video in like December or January or in the middle of the year, because we're just reflecting on the past 12 months of your life. So one of the most important ways we can create positive change in our lives is through reflection, goal setting, and planning for follow-through. This process allows us to live our lives by design instead of default. Living by default is one of the worst things so many of us do to ourselves. I know I've done it so much of my life. So many people experience waking up in a moment and wondering how they got to a certain point in their life, realizing they're not happy with where they're at, and even realizing they don't even know who they are anymore. So have you ever experienced that? Waking up in that moment and realizing you're not happy, or realizing you don't really relate to yourself or know who you are or what you want in this world anymore? And maybe not, because you're taking the time to work on improving yourself by reading this and watching this. So I know you're somebody who wants to do better and is putting that effort in. However, if you're anything like me, this scenario is frightening to you and you really want to avoid it. So to make sure we avoid it, today we're going to work on the first step in this process I talked about, which is reflection. So that process is reflection, goal setting, and planning for follow-through. So in today's video, we're really diving into the reflection piece. So reflection is a process that I would recommend doing much more often than just at the start of a new year or just even once a year. However, it is a good place to start, and that's what we're going to do today. So just remember, the more familiar and comfortable you get with the process of reflection, the more success you are going to create. And I know that's what you want. So here are a few things I recommend reflecting on for the past year. I recommend pausing in between each question I'm going to give you and taking some time to write things down and truly reflect. This is the most important part of the process, so don't skip these questions. So question 1 is, what goals, if any, did you create for this past year? What goals, if any, did you create for this past year? So you can pause here to answer that question. I'm going to keep going. Number 2, how much of your goals did you complete, or why didn't you create goals this last year? So again, how much of your goals did you complete, or why didn't you create goals this last year? Remember to write, pause and write. Number 3, what did you accomplish this past year? What did you accomplish this past year? Number 4, what barriers came up this year that you felt held you back? So what barriers came up that held you back this past year? Number 5, what was your biggest lesson or lessons that you learned this year? What were your biggest lessons you learned this year? Number 6, what are you most grateful for from this past year? What are you most grateful for from this past year? Make sure you're pausing and writing. There's no wrong answers. Number 7, how did you change this year? How did you change this year? Number 8, what are you proud of from this past year? What are you proud of from this last year? Number 9, who has been the greatest support to you in this last year? Who has been your greatest support? And the last one, number 10, how have you made a difference this past year? How have you made a difference? So really spend some time answering these questions. If you want to see them written down, you can click a link to the blog post this is connected with in the description below, and you'll find them there as well. So spend some time answering these questions, dive deep into them, and don't hold back from reflecting on this year. Maybe some of these questions didn't speak strongly to you, but maybe they inspired reflections or other questions that you really needed to answer. So I would love to hear what came up for you during your reflection in the comments below, so please share. And next week, we're going to go even deeper into this process of reflection so that we can create goals on purpose and with success this year. So we're going to look further into your past to learn as much as we can in order to create the best future for you. So I want you to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video in this series, and I will see you there.